Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are across the country today. We're super excited to host you for the Women's Council Hustle. My name is Jamie Taylor, and I am much like you. I am currently a local area president, returning president. I returned to the network this year after being asked by state leadership to step back in and come back and help my network. And so I was previously president in 2020, so I've made my second round. And when I came back in last year to help our network who was struggling, and I'm sure there's many networks out there that feel like they're struggling, and that's exactly why we put this class together. When we stepped back into the leadership role in our local network, the leadership team where I'm at, we were just brainstorming different ideas. What is it realtors need right now that's going to draw them to Women's Council? And how can we help this network revive it and grow it? And one of the things that we came up with was we really need to help agents learn how to focus on business and creating business and increasing their revenue within the industry in order to keep them motivated and coming back. You know, it's one thing to attend some classes where, yes, CE is great here, but what are some actionable things we can do to help agents be more successful in the shifting market? Anybody else feeling that today?
I think it's great.
A few of you, yeah, absolutely. So what we did is we created what we call the leadership hustle. Tina has raised her hand there. Tina, are you trying to, did you have a question? Taylor, I'll let you handle it, see if you can help her out there. And so we created what we call the Women's Council Hustle. It's not the Leadership Hustle, it's the Women's Council Hustle. And that particularly what we were doing with that is helping the agents in our community get more engaged with systems in their own businesses to increase their business in the area, which would draw them back to Women's Council. And so we've been doing this since January of this year, and it has just kind of caught fire. In May, when we were in Washington, D.C., our lovely state liaison, I guess in her report had mentioned it, and a lot of other leaders started asking me questions. What is this? How can we get involved? And that is where the Women's Council Hustle Leadership Edition really came in. And so this particular series is not for your members. I want to be very clear about that. This is for you as leaders. So what we're going to focus on in this Women's Council Hustle, the Leadership Edition, is we're going to focus on you as leaders. So who needs to be in this webinar today? If you are a local leader in Women's Council in any area, governing board, it could be a committee member, any way you're involved in leadership within Women's Council, we want you involved. If you are maybe a president-elect and you have a team going to be joining you next year when we all kind of change hands in November, those individuals, those leaders, you want them on these calls because we're going to give you practical tools and systems to help increase both your network and your own business as you move into this next season of leadership within Women's Council. I can tell you, I know firsthand that as a leader and as someone who's volunteering a lot of time to multiple organizations, that it is sometimes very hard to create a consistent income at the same time we're volunteering. Sometimes the volunteering feels like it outweighs the business that we have to do. And then there's this battle and struggle. And so we want to give you the practical tools in order to help motivate you and push you. So that is what this Women's Council Hustle is for. We're going to break each session down. There's 5 sessions. We're going to be meeting the second Wednesday of every month between now and the end of the year through December. The only one that is currently not a webinar is in November. So you will see me in person live in November doing a session here in Houston, which is where I'm from, for Women's Council. And so if for some reason you're not coming to Houston at that time and you do want a webinar, we will be putting out a survey in October that says, okay, how many of you are coming? How many of you are not coming? to Houston. And if we need to put on an additional webinar, either before the national event or after the national event, we will put that together at that time. So I don't want you guys to feel like you're going to miss something if you're not coming to Houston, but I want to encourage you to come to Houston, because when you get with other Women's Council leaders, you are always going to be better for it. So I'm going to invite you to come to Houston and be a part of the national conference and installation of our incoming president and all the things in November. So does anyone have any questions about what they're here for, or any of the session, when they're going to participate? Does anybody have any questions? And Taylor, I'm going to have to ask you to help me with the chat if anybody has any questions in there.
I'm good.
Anybody? Okay, perfect. All right, well, let's jump right in. I'm super excited about today's hustle because, can everyone see my screen here? It should say thank you to our sponsor, Workman Success. Okay, so as a coaching client with Workman Success, they provided me with these tools, which is why they're our sponsor today, because they have so graciously allowed me to use these tools and share them with you guys for free. So in the chat, I know if you probably just joined or joined recently, maybe the links are in there. So Taylor's going to be consistently putting the link to the 2 resources we're going to use today in the chat. However, if you scan this QR code, it's going to give you the resources for all the entire series. So you will have it. And I'm just going to pop over here what this looks like. You will, it will look like this to register. So if you guys can see that, and you'll see all the tools here. Now it's going to say, it's going to ask you to submit this. This is just letting them know that you're linking on this because of me, okay? So that's the only reason why they're grabbing this. And then once you put your information in and hit submit, you're going to receive an email that looks like this. It says, here's your free resources requested. It is coming from the Workman team, but you'll see all of these tools and resources here. You want to bookmark this email, okay? I will put this QR code up every single time, but this is how you want to get back into these resources in between each calls if you have questions or if you need to download it again. So the tools we're going to be using today are the 8651 and the top 50 tracker. The top 50 tracker is one that you may want to come back and download over and over again. So, and I'm going to explain that through our class today. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew where those were and how it was going to look as you receive them. Okay. Any questions about the free resources? I cannot see the chat, so hopefully
I'm good.
Someone else there. Go ahead.
Yep.
Any questions? Okay. All right, guys. So leadership. Leadership is influence with intention. The two together create this balance in our leadership roles that attract other people to us, which is exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to attract other people into Women's Council. We're trying to grow our network. We're trying to grow our businesses. And so that's really what we have to do. We have to become influencers with intention. And so the system that I want to present to you today is exactly for that. The system we're talking about today is the top 50. Has anybody heard of top 50 before? Feel free to come off of mute. No? Okay. So Sam just raised her head, and there's a few of them in there. I see little things popping up on my screen. So the top 50 is your bridge between relationship-based leadership and business growth, okay? Everybody on this call should know that if you are a real estate professional or a lender or a title rep, it doesn't matter what it is, you are in the relationship business. That's it, right? If you are not building relationships in some way, shape, or form, you're not doing business, and therefore you're not going to be thriving in your industry. So what we're focusing on today is how do we strategically build relationships in order to grow our networks and grow our business. There is an ebook that Verl Workman put out called 8651. The concept behind this ebook is how to get 86 leads a year. Who wants more leads? Say yes. By working your top 50 for 1 hour a day. Okay. So that's the preface behind this. 86 leads a year by working your top 50, 1 hour a day. I would love 86 more deals a year, right? I don't know any of us that would. So in those resources, you can download this ebook and read it after the fact of this call. And it's going to give you a little bit more behind the scenes of how 8651 was established and how it works. All right, so let's talk about the top 50 tracker as we get started. You all now have this tool. It's yours. You can duplicate it. You can use it over and over. Workman's been so gracious to give it to us. I'm going to walk through with you how to use it. So once you download it, it's a very, very user-friendly tool. And what I want you to see here is that you're going to be putting 50 people in, okay? The more people you put in here, the more that it'll drop down in the referral list. I'll show you what that looks like later. Every single month that you meet with these individuals, when we're going to talk about the strategic, you're going to be marking off that you did something with them. Okay. You can see here that when we mark or tag an individual, that the percentage at the top of this form changes. Okay. So the more people we call, the more people we have lunch with, the more people we have coffee with, or a birthday card, the higher this is going to go. The goal here is that every month you hit 100% of your contacts in this area. At the end of this form, you're going to see that there's a touch score. The goal is what percentage of the year did this person get touched? Now, why is this important? How many of you have been somewhere, a TRLP event or a leadership event of some sort, and you run into somebody and you start talking about Women's Council, and maybe you exchange cards and you have every intention of following up with that person after the fact, but something happens and for whatever reason or another, you guys don't end up connecting again. And it's a lost potential member. Am I the only one that's done that? Because I'll admit I've done that, right? So what the intention here is let's say this is your goal as a leader, is now you're connecting with individuals and you're going to intentionally touch them every month, maybe until they join. And then after they join, you're going to intentionally touch them every month to keep their membership going a little further. We're going to talk about more how this is not just you, this is your entire leadership team. But I just want you to get the preface of how the top 50 works and how the tool is used in order to be intentional. So if somebody gives you a referral, let's say Brianne Ika is at an event and she refers another agent to us for a Women's Council, we can come over here and select Brianne. We can put in the name of the contact that she referred so that we can remember to thank Brianne later for referring John Doe to us as a potential Women's Council member. So this is another way to keep up with it. If it is in your own business, maybe this is a past client that you have on your top 50 list. Maybe Brianne is a past client and she sent you a referral. And so you can, again, tag it as she sent you that referral, who it was, so that you can, again, thank her for that referral. This spreadsheet does have some different, underneath the top 50 initiatives, some different examples of things that you could do. This is geared towards your individual business, right? So like we are currently in the month of August. Here's some ideas of different reasons maybe you would want to reach out to someone. Maybe it's, dog days of summer, so it's hot. Let's rent a theater and do a popcorn event or do some pop buys with some popcorn, something like that. So with this form, this is the form we're going to be doing as we create. Now we're going to create multiple of these documents, and I'm going to explain why as we continue to move forward and how it's going to work together with your network. I do see a few questions coming in. Mary Ann Garcia, can you unmute and tell us what you mean by that? Can you share that calendar?
Sorry, I had a hard time muting. Can you share that information, that January, February, March?
Yeah, it's already in the spreadsheet. So when you download the sheet, and Taylor will put that link in the chat for you. So just go look for it in the chat. It's at the bottom. I know my little webinar thing is kind of in the way here. Hold on, let me see if I can move it. Down here at the bottom of the spreadsheet, the top 50 initiatives are at the bottom of the chat.
Okay,
Or at the bottom of the spreadsheet. So you can look at there. There is a lookup table also in the spreadsheet. And this is where you would put someone that maybe you removed from the top 50 from that particular tracker for whatever reason. Any rewards that you want. So in your top 50 referral list, you have this drop down box for these. You can add as many different types of rewards as you would like to give over. And so you can edit that list over here under the lookup table. Always remember, lookup table means I can change something. Okay, so that's really what it means. If you ever have a drop down, you're going to go to the lookup table to look for that. And so you can see here the different types of contacts. You can add others. Maybe it's a shout out to a member for something good that they did. You could put shout out here. So start brainstorming different things that you could put on this type of contact. Maybe it's a social media post of some sort. So you could have a social media type of contact. So lots of ways that you can change this up for different ways that you're using the form. Okay, so this is a little bit about the form. I want you guys to get the form and start playing with it, start adding to it. And now let's dive into how to really use it and what to use it for. Before I do that, I'm going to check the chat one more time and see if there's any questions regarding the form. Don't see any. If anybody has it, come off of mute and ask. Do you have any questions whatsoever? Okay.
Nope.
Perfect. Okay. So I've introduced you guys to the top 50 tracker. Now let's talk about how to build the system around this tool. Okay. So first, let's look at it in a leadership context. Okay. Who are we going to reach out to? Members. Maybe you want to have a top 50 list of active members. If you don't have 50 members yet, that's okay. Go ahead, create the list, put all your members on it. Okay. Why would we want to create this list and put all 21 of our members on it? Anybody want to share?
Stay in touch.
To create your pipeline.
Right. We're starting to create a pipeline. What happens to a member when they've been a member for, say, 2 or 3 years and they never hear from anyone at Women's Council, like they don't feel connected? What happens?
They're disinterested.
They don't renew.
Disinterested.
They don't renew. They end up leaving. So this is a system to engage our current members, right? So you're going to create one that says current members. So maybe you have a top 50 current members for your network. Now, let's say you have 50 members. You have your 6 governing board members. Maybe you have 10 different committee members, or maybe you have a committee that's just for tracking this one thing. And now you take this once a month and divide those people out by those members and have, let's say there's 6 of them, and you have, just for even numbers, let's say there's 24, right? So every person calls 2 people. Is that manageable? Could you do that? Could your governing board do that? Yes. It becomes something where everyone is now starting to feel the warm and fuzzies of being a part of Women's Council because they're being touched by different members of the network. You can switch it up to where this month the president calls, and next month the membership director calls, and break it up like that. So it really starts to create some momentum to create the warm and fuzzies within your organization. Okay, so members, active, engaged members who lead with initiatives and show up. So really get them involved. The second one you want to consider making is your past members. Past members are usually didn't renew either because their business wasn't good, right? Like they just decided real estate's not for them for whatever reason. So maybe this is a way to engage them in some education classes that you have, right? So start looking for ways to engage past members. You can have a committee for this. You don't have to do it yourself as the leader, but create a committee that can help with these things. So people who have contributed before, but could also be re-engaged. The third would be strategic partners, those business and professionals who align with your mission, our mission as Women's Council members. Maybe this is your mission or your vision within your own personal real estate business. And so I want you to start thinking outside of the box when it comes to strategic partners, because we have, remember, there's two categories here. When it comes to Women's Council, we have our strategic partners, which are those partners that join us all year long and are constantly showing up, and you know, they paid for that position. So they're non-XCO members, or however some of the networks call them. They're part of the network. They're part of the Women's Council family. Then you have your sponsors that just spot sponsor. They sponsor an event here or there. So maybe you have two lists here, one of strategic partners, one of those spot sponsors if they're not willing to join Women's Council as a strategic partner. So build that list. And then lastly would be your future members, people who you meet out and about. I had a governing board meeting yesterday with my board, and one of the things we always discuss is who's talked to whom. And so having a list like this where you can add future potential members to, so that not just the person that met them, but other members of the organization could reach out to them, would be helpful in order to continue growth within the network. So everything we're doing here when it comes to leadership is about growth of the network, building a stronger community within your real estate professionals there with Women's Council. So the question now is how to. Monthly check-ins. Text. So in the drop-down list here on your top 50 tracker, you have the how-tos, right? How are we going to reach out to them? You guys can classify any of this to be whatever you want. You can also change it, right? I showed you how to change that in the lookup table here. So you can change it. But the goal here is just to mark something that you have talked to them. Maybe you could do dinner if they attended a luncheon, or a lunch if they've attended a luncheon, and you had a conversation with them at that luncheon. If you gave them some type of welcome gift for becoming a new member or something like that, you could note it. The goal here, though, is this number up here. The goal is to make sure you're touching everyone every single month, okay? So you can do that with monthly check-ins, that text call or that shout out. Shout outs are huge to realtors because they can take that, post it on social media, get it out there, and now they want to come back to Women's Council because they want to get more shout outs, right? So I'm always stalking Facebook pages and sending my poor first vice president like screenshots of this person's puppy ran away, or this person had a great their most successful closing ever. Like, I'm screenshotting those things and sending them to her so that she can send out a card from all of us that we've all signed in advance to get that out. And then if it's something congratulatory, taking that and sharing it on social media. We have a member this year who is just knocking it out of the park. She got her license in October, joined Women's Council in October. She's been participating in every one of our Women's Councils. She's now gotten her CIPS. She is traveling all over the world, and she's got listings, and she's a brand new agent, just started in October. And so we took that information and we shouted it out on social media, and she's just blowing up from it, right? So she's able to use that to grow her business. Is she going to keep coming back? Absolutely. She might even be on this call. So second, share resources and opportunities. What are some upcoming events, like your upcoming events? Your strategic partners, you should be promoting their upcoming events, right? So just ways to get the information out. It gives you a reason to pick up the phone and call. Invite to participate always. I know when you have an event and you're trying to collect RS reservations, it's real. Who else agrees with me that realtors wait till the last minute to do everything? It's so frustrating sometimes. So, inviting them to participate. There's a book called The 7 Ways to what is it called? I'm so sorry. I just slipped my mind. I'll find it in a minute and tell you. But it's 7 different ways that you would reach out to someone in order to make sure that they're getting information about events. And it's just seeing stuff over and over is that reticular activating system that allows individuals to be like, this is something I really need to be a part of. So if you've called them, if you've sent them an email, if you sent them a flyer or dropped a flyer off at their office, if you send them a text message, they're getting that in multiple ways. All of those ways you can mark on that top 50 tracker. You only need to do it once, but that you've sent them out stuff in multiple ways so that they're coming to events. Okay. The other thing is get them involved in leadership projects. If you have a committee that you want somebody to start stepping more up into a leadership role, get them involved in that. Call and invite them. Also, never forget, invite your general membership to do pledges, invocation, like anything extra that you can possibly think of. Introducing a sponsor, getting them involved is going to get it moving, and you can always mark that on that tracker. And then lastly, publicly acknowledge their contributions. Anytime someone steps up, make sure the world knows about it. Become a stalker on their social media. If they get something special somewhere, make sure that you're promoting that for them and how proud you are to have them of your network. And then you can go into the top 50 tracker and mark that, that's what you did in order to make those connections. The goal here is to be making connections with every single person you have on that list. Okay. So let's take our leadership hat off for a minute and put on our realtor hat, our business hat, what we need in order to grow our business, whatever that business is. You might not be in real estate, maybe you're in title or something else. But what is it, right, that you're growing? So let's look at the top 50 in terms of growing your business for a minute. Who are your VIP people? The people who already know, love, and trust you that you could build a top 50 tracker for. Okay, so I want you to think of every single person that knows, love, and trusts you that you could pick up the phone and call them. Now, this is a little bit, you can call them just because. It could be a pop by. These could be the people that you want to love on and you want to pop by once a month or take them to coffee every so often. These are the people that when somebody asks them who their favorite realtor is, your name is the first one that pops out of their mouth, right? There's another way to build it this way, though. What if Gabby, who is on our call today, is in my top 50, and I'm going to call her and I'm going to say, hey, Gabby, I'm super excited. I just sat down with my coach, and she gave me this really good idea, and I want to come to you with it. And you don't have to tell all 50 people that you're coming to 50 people. You're just coming to one person and you're saying, okay, Gabby, she said that I need to reach out to one person that I really know, that knows, loves, and trusts me, and tell them what my goal is this year. My goal is to help 50 families get into their forever homes. And what she wants me to do is call you once a month and tell you that where I am in my goal, and for you to be my accountability partner. But there's a catch here. You can't just be my accountability partner. I have to agree to be your accountability partner too. So what is a goal that you have this year that we could work together to hold each other accountable for? Now, what you've just done is you've created a relationship of love and trust with another person that goes deeper than a transaction. It's, hey, I care about you. If your goal is to lose 50 pounds, okay, how are we going to do it? We're going to touch base once a month. Now that once a month call doesn't have to be an hour-long call. It's 5 minutes. Hey, I'm checking in with you. I just wanted to let you know I'm at 4 for the month. Okay, and I'm at 7 pounds down. We congratulate each other and we say, okay, I'll talk to you next month. And we hang up the phone and we keep moving. But what we just did is we activated that reticular activator. She knows that, hey, I'm Jamie. I'm a realtor. I have a goal of 50, and I've 4 more towards my goal for the month, right? And so it's starting to create these deeper relationships that allow growth to happen. So now, because she's hearing from you every month. When she hears somebody talking about real estate, who's she calling? Who's she telling them about? Me, right? That's what we want. We want to grow in that regard. So your local VIP people, you should have one top, if you have no other top 50 lists at all, you have one that has the top 50 people that know, love, and trust you to keep moving. Okay, this one is super important to me, and we don't do it enough. Our network has a slogan that we don't pay for Women's Council pays us, right? How many people say I can't join because it's too expensive? Well, okay, let me ask you, if I, Jamie, sent you, sitting on the other side of this camera, a referral, and that referral made you $7,000, could you afford Women's Council? Absolutely. I will tell you, as a Women's Council member, I get more referrals. A good chunk of my business is referrals. So I am going to mid-year meeting. I'm going to the national conference. I'm attending webinars and networking with people behind in the chat and in the breakout rooms that we're in across the nation. And I am building a national referral partner list because I want to build relationships with people all over the state. Does anybody else want free money, free referral money, right? Absolutely. So build a top 50 referral list. Maybe that list is 10, maybe that list is 100. It can be whatever you want it to be, but the same concept. So I have a top 50 list for a national referral partner. Am I really reaching out to them every month? Absolutely, and how to do that. And we're gonna cover that a little bit more, but these are agents or members across the country that you can send referral leads to. So that would be the second top 50 list that I would recommend. The third is our strategic partners, okay? As a realtor, do we need a strategic partner list? Yes. Okay, let me tell you why. Local mover in the area. People are moving out. What happens when people move? They need to sell their house if they're not already, right? Garage sales. There are organizations, companies, individuals that all they do, their job is they go out to different garage sales and they pick up stuff. Well, I want that person to know that I'm a real estate agent so that when they're there, I'm going to make sure she has a ton of my cars so that when she's visiting those garage sales, she can give them my information if they're talking about selling, because it's always, it comes up. Are you guys moving? Like, what's happening? Are you just downsizing? Are you just getting rid of stuff? It's always a conversation. So think about who your own personal strategic partners could be, okay? Mortgage lenders, inspectors, insurance agents are all great, but think beyond that. Think your lawn service companies, think your painters, think, you know, your hairdresser. Like, just think way outside the box when it comes to strategic partners. Okay, so you're saying to yourself, Jamie, oh my gosh, that's a lot of lists, right? Like, why the different lists? So you're going to have different messages for different audiences. Am I going to have the same conversation with a strategic partner list or referral list that I'm going to have with my VIP list? No. Like, the VIP list is like really creating accountability partners, really creating a deeper relationship with these 50 people that love you, that do business with you already. Could be your parent, right? It could be anybody. Just, it's a different audience, first of all. Second, it allows you to tailor the touches and strengthen the touch. So if you're a referral partner and you're in Ohio, because I know we have a gentleman on from Ohio today, I want to build that relationship with him. Well, anytime in Women's Council, when we are building relationships across boundaries, we want to make sure that we're connecting with them when we have the opportunity to be together. So that would be mid-year. It would be your state local conferences, you know, if you're all in one state. It could be the national conference in November. I can't promote enough to go to these events. Go on your own dime. Go meet people and strengthen those relationships. So your top 50 is going to give you an opportunity to really network with those individuals prior to being with them, so that they're looking forward to seeing you when you get there. So to give you an example, this year, national conference is going to be in Houston, Texas. I'm in Houston, Texas. So I've already started creating campaigns for my referral partners that say, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you coming into Houston. I live here. Here's some great things to do. Here's some great places to stay. Here's some great restaurants that you definitely want to go to. And now I'm giving them resources and benefits for coming to Houston. And that's going to strengthen that bond and that relationship between me and those individuals. But most importantly, and I made this huge and I highlighted it yellow because I really wanted to make sure that I nailed this one home. It keeps you from overlooking high value relationships. We do this in our businesses every day. How many of you can think of some leads that you've gotten in the last week that you still need to call back? Every one of us, right? It happens. These are valuable relationships because if we don't call them back, another agent's going to call them and they're going to buy a house from them. And then by the time we call them, it's going to be too late. Okay. That's in our own personal business. In women's council, if an individual feels overlooked, we lose them as a member. So it's so important here to make sure that we are creating a system so that we don't overlook anyone. And so we're creating these lists, touching them intentionally monthly so that we never overlook them. So let's get to some examples of some touches. For your VIP locals, this could be a quarterly coffee meetup, a local event that may be like a VIP event. How many of you do like a pie giveaway in November or a Santa gathering in December, or movie, like some type of local event? Anybody? A few of you, okay. What about local events that are happening in your area, right? So we have a 4th of July event that happens in our area every year. So we will, send out a message that says, hey, we're going to be here at this event, this date, this time. We'd love to see you. Maybe we set up a blanket and we bring some extra refreshments. It didn't cost us much more than what we already were bringing anyway. And now people are coming together and they're coming to hang out with you and you're getting to touch them and see them face to face. So think outside the box. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be messy. It just has to be intentional. So that would be some of my recommendations. I would also, there's 2 resources that I want to share with you guys. I don't have the links for them here, but one is your holiday calendar. You know, what holidays are coming up? We've got Labor Day coming up. What is something you can do to reach out to someone for Labor Day, to say happy Labor Day? Maybe also the national day list. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but the one that says like today's National Coffee Day, right? Maybe, or Taco Day or whatever it is, right? So always know those fun, because it gives you reasons to reach out to them. For your referral partners, just that check-in to let them know, hey, I'm still here in the Houston area. These are some fun things that are happening in our area. This is kind of what our market looks like. Anybody else? I'm a high SC on the DISC spectrum. So I really enjoy hearing from others on what their market looks like in their area and comparing it to my area. And that's important in a lot of ways. For instance, there's a lot of individuals right now moving from California to Houston, right? I want to know what the market's looking like in California, because it could benefit or impact me here in Houston. So sharing those monthly check-ins is always good, especially for referral partners. Our strategic partners, co-host workshops with them. In Women's Council, we don't have to do it all on our own all the time. Bring in one of your strategic partners and have them do something really great and help you along. Cross-promote on social media, right? So you have your top 50 list of strategic partners. You're going to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, Sally, I see that you guys have an event on Tuesday. You're opening a new office in this location. Send me your information. I want to push it out on Women's Council. And then you can say, hey, by the way, Sally, we have this event. Would you mind pushing this out on my social media? And now you're touching them every month and you're getting them to come to your events. And I always encourage strategic partners to bring realtors to our event, right? If you play with different options. If a strategic partner brings X number of new members, maybe they get something free, a promotion of some sort, or a table at your next luncheon, or whatever the case may be, but really promote that. All right, guys, so it is 11:40. I've left 20 minutes in this webinar today to really talk through some of the challenges you guys are having when it comes to relationships and how we can use this tool to engage with them. So I'm going to stop my screen share. And I want to move all of your beautiful faces in front of me so that I can see you. And the first thing I want to do is ask any questions on any of the information that I presented so far. We've got 47 attendees. We might need to promote some more of you to panelists. Nobody has any questions?
Not for me.
Michael, you have some questions?
No, I was just saying not for me.
Oh, gotcha. Has anybody found any value in this tool?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much for the information, Jamie.
You're welcome.
I love this tool because I am helping a new network startup in my area, and I talk to so many people, and I collect cards and I put them here and I put notes here and everywhere, and to have it all in one place, this is going to be such a useful tool for me.
Fantastic. Okay, so anybody else?
I have a question, Jamie.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So I like your idea about, with the conferences coming to Houston, just kind of connecting with people. So I do have, stacks of those business cards in plastic baggies. So should I just I guess I could just put some of those that kind of just go through them and put them on the 50 list, and just from this month forward, just find something to say or to do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Make sure that you're inviting them, make sure you're letting them know where you're going to be and how you'd like to connect. A lot of times when you have a list like that, you want to maybe create a happy hour, an event somewhere where like a meetup of some sort during that event. So make sure you book it based on your availability. And start creating that list and sending that out. And then those touches for every month coming up to there, you can send them one tip every month, and then maybe take a look at the roster of classes that are going to be held at that event once it's fully out, and say, hey, I'm going to be attending these classes. I'd love to see you in them with me if you wanted to network here. There's all kinds of ways that you can really connect there, Shadra.
Thank you.
Great question.
Jamie, this was phenomenal. I think we're all kind of on the same page. Oh, hey, this is Tanya from the Austin Network. So good to see all you ladies. I can't wait to see y'all next week. This is totally my jam. I love the work and effort you put into that spreadsheet. I just now started importing the stack of business cards that I have met with everybody since I've been a part of the council, and really implementing some of your ideas over this last week. So I'm excited to use what your import your ideas with what I've come up with to really stay top of mind for our referral partners, and just intentional with you ladies, because like Jamie said, the relationships that you meet in Women's Council really goes beyond the referral, but the friendships, because we are all some pretty awesome individuals and very talented individuals. So I'm really excited, and thank you so much for taking the time to pour out into us and encourage these type of skills and tools.
Absolutely. I'm glad to do it. I cannot take credit for that amazing form. It was something that I learned from being a coaching client with Workman, who is our sponsor today. So can't thank enough to our sponsor. But it's a phenomenal resource. And in 8651, it's talking about just using one form. And I started thinking, well, how can I really use this with a network to promote growth of our membership and break it down? And so, having multiple top 50s with those different categories on it and having other people on the network help you make those phone calls. One of the challenges, and one of the sessions we're gonna touch on is it's called My Perfect Week. It's a tool to help build a schedule where you can balance your business and your leadership responsibilities. Patty, I do see your hand up. I'll come to you just next. And so this ties into that so well, because how many hours a week do you really have for Women's Council, right? We're attending meetings, we're attending events, we're attending leadership meetings with the state. We're attending so many things, and sometimes it can get overwhelming and our business gets left behind. So we're gonna circle back to, now I have a top 50. If there are 20 days in a month, 20 work days, right? Monday through Friday, 4 weeks. If I contact 3 people every day from that list, from my top 50 business list, then I hit all 50 every single month, and that's manageable, right? Whereas if I try to call 50 every week, like it just doesn't happen. Agents on my team, I can't even get some days to call 20 contacts and make 20 intentional sales contacts. So, when you can really break it down, then it will help you be successful. So using this list and just breaking it down into a manageable piece will help your business grow, and it will help your network grow. Patty, did you want to come off mute?
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Patty.
Hello. We are so
Our
proud.
wonderful state liaison for Texas.
Oh, well, thank you. We are so proud of you, so proud of your network. And, I really like how you correlate this to Women's Council. That you took this spreadsheet that they created and you came up with this. And I love how you explain it. And you really are a pro at this spreadsheet. But thank you. And you're right. I did put this on one of my reports, what y'all are doing in Bay Area. And it's good to know the people really do read those reports. Sometimes we feel like report takers. But I'm so proud of you and your network. And thank you for this. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. I am proud to be here and a part of it. All right. Anybody else have any questions? We all love getting out of stuff early, but I want to make sure you guys have everything that you need. So next month, remember, we're going to do this the second Wednesday of every month. In the free resources that we provided at the beginning of the call, hopefully you guys signed up for that and it sent you an email. In that email, we're going to be, the class we're covering next month is called From C's to CEO, your success scorecard. Okay, so there is a tool in that email that you got. I was just trying to pull it over so that you can see it, so I can show you. And of course, it's not where I want it to be because I've got a million tabs open. It's your AMP scorecard. It's the AMP scorecard. So if you want to take a look at that tool between now and the next one, I'm really going to go through that AMP scorecard and explain how to fill it out. We're going to fill it out together on the call for your own personal business. But I want you to start looking and thinking of the ways you can apply it to your leadership teams, right? CMA. How many of you are how are you keeping up with names and communication when it comes to your networks and your membership and your past membership? So these are some of the things we're going to look at. The scorecard is, I would want you to think of it as a report card for your business and a report card for your network. Where can we be better? Not that we're failing in any way, shape, or form. It's just an idea of, okay, where can I open my mind to get better in this area? Is it marketing? Is it our CMA? is it our business networking and how we're putting that out there. So that's what we're going to do next month. So make sure that you mark it on your calendars for next month. And always feel free to reach out to me if you have questions in between calls. I'm happy to help. I am here to help support each and every one of you in your leadership journeys. And we are getting done a little bit early. I'm going to hang out as long as you guys need me and as long as you guys have questions. But that is all of the material for today. Mary Ann, you can come off mute.
I do have a question. On that form that we downloaded, is that the AMP card that we're going to go over for next week, or?
So you would have received an email. Did you get did you scan the QR code when it was up?
Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, never mind. I'll go ahead and do that for sure. Scan
Okay,
that QR.
so let me
Okay,
just
I
screen
did.
share again so you can see.
Thank you.
So the QR code, when you scan it, it's going to give you access. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see this Zoom thingy in there. It'll give you access to all of these tools that Workman is giving us for free. And so you can see here, we did the top two today, the 8651 and the top 50 tracker. This AMP scorecard is the one that I'm talking about. We're going to touch on our next call. So if when you get that email, this will be the one that you just want to open and take a look at for the next call.
Okay. When will I receive that email? Oh, you sent it earlier, right?
Yeah, it's automated. So as soon as you put in up at the top of the page, it asks for your name and your email address. It lets them know that that information is coming from me. Then it will automatically, like, check your spam if for some reason it doesn't come into your general inbox, but it comes out immediately. It doesn't get sent. It's like an auto-generated.
Okay. But that QR code is the same thing that you're going to email. Is that correct?
Yes. The QR code goes to the registration that sends you the email. Yes.
Can you send me that QR code again?
Here, let me just drop the link. I'm going to drop the
case.
link in the chat. So if you didn't get the QR code,
Jamie,
go to the
put that link in the chat. So if you're having trouble scanning it.
Is it the one that's Jamie Taylor 2025 on the end?
Yeah.
Taylor? Okay, perfect. Perfect. So she said she did that. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Shadra, did you have another question?
I did, but I was going to let other people go first. But so when I'm filling out the QR code part, when it's like, what's your most urgent business issue? Like, I got a couple of them that are urgent. But I guess I'm just wondering, does that really matter, like what I select there, or do you get access to the same things regardless?
You get access to the same things regardless.
Okay.
It's just letting us know what challenges you are having. If you note that there, that's all.
Got you. Thank you.
And you know, Workman is our sponsor. They're giving us all these tools for free. Obviously, they are a coaching company, and they're like, if you guys want to dive deeper into any of the tools that we share on here, then you can always reach out to them. I believe at the bottom of that page that you download, there's something that says Find My Fit assessment, and you can click on that assessment. That assessment will trigger a call from Workman that says, hey, I'd like to learn more about how to dive deeper into some of these tools and resources, and get you connected with either a group coaching or an individual coach that can help you get better systems in your own business. That's what they do. That's their specialty. But it's not a requirement. These are just the tools that they're providing us there. Marianne, did you have another question? Okay. All right, ladies. Well, I'm going to hang out. You are welcome to jump off, but I am here to answer any questions for our last 5 minutes today. And I will see you the second Tuesday of next month. Feel free to tell all of your leaders in your networks and bring more attendees next month.
Hi, Jamie. It's Leah. Thanks for doing
Hey, Leah.
this. I
You're
hopped
welcome.
on probably the last 15 minutes. So since
Okay.
no one else has any other questions, I was going to reach out to you and ask for the Cliff Notes version.
Absolutely. This is actually recorded, so
Okay.
we can send you the recording as well.
Perfect. Perfect.
Just
And I
so
am
that you,
familiar with the top 50 list.
fantastic.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Jamie,
Juana?
I have a question for you, Jamie. Are we going to still be doing the hustle with Bay Area, or this is going to take the place of what we were doing in Bay Area?
Nope, we're still doing it. So the Women's Council hustle that we're doing at the local area is just for it's a member only. We geared this one to the leaders. We're going to continue to do this one, and we're actually going to run it through all of next year. If this class gets enough feedback, positive feedback, then we will bring the leadership hustle to a webinar for 2026.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
all
So
up to participation and who
when
wants
is the
it.
next one for Bay Area?
It's always the first Wednesday of the month.
Okay. Okay. That's what I
Yeah.
that's what I
At
thought. So that's
11:30. Kara said you have to be there.
I'll be there. But no, I'm just I was just wondering if when was the next one for Bay
Yeah.
Area. I couldn't remember if we were replacing this for Bay Area or not, but then I knew we were doing this
No.
too for the
Yeah,
national.
no, this is an addition. We're
Okay,
still
this
doing
is
the local area
okay.
one.
So I'll be doing both. Thanks. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. All right, y'all have a great day. I hope to see some of you at our network event here shortly.
I was gonna tell you I'm feeling a little sick.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It is Lindsay.
I will be there with bells on.
Jamie, I do have another question.
Sure.
So I heard I guess in our TRLP class, we have Verl there, and he talked about this. And there
Yes.
were some people in there that had been through the program. So how long have you been in that program? I guess I was actually talking today about this program versus the Tom Ferry, and I don't really know the difference, but do they have the same goal overall?
No.
Okay.
So I've been with Workman since 2020. I joined in December of 2020. The difference between Workman and Tom Ferry, every coaching company has something they're geared towards, they're really good at. Workman is really good at two things: systems and building teams. I would think that they probably stand out the most in those two areas. Lindsay is also a coach with Workman. Yeah, and she raised her hand. I knew that was coming. Unmute yourself. Would you agree with that, Lindsay?
Yes, but also coming from a coach, because I'm a coach, who has done Tom Ferry, Travis Robertson, Brian Buffini, and I was a facilitator for a couple of those companies before I found Workman. Workman is not about teaching you how to sell real estate. It's about helping you build a business that at the end of it, you have something that is of value. So for me, the way I look at it from my perspective is if I had a doctor's office or a lawyer's office, I would be able to sell my practice at the end of all of this. And none of my other coach ever taught me how to do my P&L, my profit and loss, how to have a working budget, all of those things. And so it's more about not selling of the actual specific house, but more of how do we manage the people, how do we run the systems, and how do we create the systems to have a better life. And then at the end, when I decide I want to retire, I have it all written down. The systems flow for plug and play. And so then I can bring in somebody else. They can buy my book of business and just keep running because the systems are there and written down. So it's a little bit different than all the other ones that I've ever been coached with.
She's being very gracious because Lindsay is one of our governing board members. Lindsay, how many active listings do you have at the moment because you put these systems into place?
25.
25 of her own listings in place, right? So we know it works.
Yeah, and I took my business from like nothing. I had $100 in my bank account at one point, and Verl called me on my personal cell phone, and he was like, "You need to do this, this, and this, and then call me back." So I never actually got to talk to any of those other coaches like on the high level, but Verl is such a bigger impact in my life, not just because of the systems, but he actually cares about each and every single one of the clients that he sees. Like he walked up to, I'm in this year's TRLP, and he walked up to some of the other members of that TRLP class and just immediately was like, how's your business? This is where we were when we left off, and da da da. So it's not just about him making a paycheck or the real estate agent making a paycheck. It's about him caring and the coaches caring to move things along. So when my business, I did a building year, like build the systems, and then I did a run the systems and find the right people to help you run them. And then I did a double, and then a double, and then a double. So it's much different once the systems are all there, but also it's doubling and I'm spending less time sitting at my desk.
Does that answer your
Awesome,
question,
thank
Phaedra?
you. Yeah, it does. It definitely does. And I'm glad you mentioned, that was one of my follow-up questions was going to be, does your business need to be at a certain level already before you join it? But I think you just answered that as well. So I think I'm good. Thank you.
Yes and no.
Okay.
The one thing, when I originally interviewed to be a client for Workman, like they are very intentional about making sure that you can afford coaching prior to coming to coaching, because they never want to put you in financial burden. So those are all things that are looked at. So it's worth a conversation. I'd like to thank our sponsor for today. Taylor, thank you so much for moderating. And we are well past time, so we will let her go. But thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you next month.